All right, so let's just settle into our meditation posture. So check your feet, they're flat on the floor. Make sure they're parallel. You could put a little cushion underneath them. And your sit bones, have them slightly raised. And maybe a couple of cushions under each knee if you have tight hips. You want your pelvis to be upright. And this then also, of course, translates up to your upper back. Hands in the meditation mudra with the thumbs touching and the right hand nestled in the left. And the shoulders just nicely aligned with the hips. So let's just imagine our spine is a string of pearls of light, stretching from the base of the spine all the way up through the crown of the head. And just someone's above you or behind you, very gently lengthening your spine. The head is slightly tipped forward, the eyes are down, looking along the length of the nose. And tip of the tongue on the roof of the mouth. And relax the jaw. Welcome, Caleb. Let's just bring our awareness to the scalp, the crown of the head, and just relax that area and notice what areas of your face are now relaxing: your forehead, the eyes, and the back of the eye, right in deep into the eye socket. Just relax that area. The nose, the cheeks, the area around the mouth, your jaw. And bring your awareness to the back of the head. Welcome, Victor. And just relax your ears, your temple, the inner ear. Relax the occipital bone at the base of the skull, and the neck, the shoulders, the back. Your throat, your chest, the belly, and the arms, all the way down to the fingers. Just check you're not holding any tension in your feet and your hands. Just relax them. Relax the legs. Let's bring our mind to the breath. Notice the sensation of the air as it's flowing in. It's slightly cooler than when it flows out. If there's any sounds in your environment, people in your home, cleaning up the kitchen, watching the TV, whatever you can hear in the background, just allow it to be there. Try not to push it away or go there with your mind to investigate. Just let it run. And then notice the thoughts in your mind as they're arising. So just allow them to arise, abide for a moment, and then, then they just disappear. Like little bubbles, just bubbling up, bursting, disappearing. So that will happen if you don't engage with your thoughts, create stories, and try not to judge what you're thinking, or your meditation, or your practice, or yourself. And then bring the mind back to the breath. So let's bring to mind the people of our life and our loved ones, our friends, our dear friends, people who are helping and supporting us. Bring to mind the ones that you probably don't love so much. And then the strangers. Maybe there's somebody you sort of pass by every day. Maybe your mailman you've known maybe for a little while, and you don't know their name. You only know them by sight. So just imagine all these people, your friends, your enemies and your strangers, they're all the same. They're all equal. And they deserve our equal attention because they all wish, like us, to be happy. And they can't find it. They all wish to avoid suffering, and they're constantly finding that. And they all have this unbelievable capacity, just like us, to be enlightened, to have this incredible mind, compassion, wisdom, intelligence. So just think we're going to do this practice tonight, and particularly we'll think of Rowena, who passed yesterday evening and who was the director of the Tugdal Nobeling Center, and beloved by many for her kindness. She was 81 when she passed. So perhaps imagine she's here with us doing this practice. And we do it for all sentient beings, for the people of our life and for ourselves. So this purification practice has 4 steps. The first of this is the power of regret. So just think of something maybe from today and sincerely regret from the depths of the heart anything you may have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life. Maybe you've done something in a past life. And think of specific actions of both body and your speech. And then generally the things that you can't remember, just regret them. And the reason we're regretting is based on this idea of karma, that we experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions. So having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future. We understand all about suffering, so we don't really want to invite any more. So logically, we're going to pull out these seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. And think like this: I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed anyone with my body and my speech, having broken my vows, because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering. So also let's regret our delusions, our anger, our attachment, grasping and neediness and jealousy and all the rest that are the cause of why we harm others. And again, think, I'm sick of this suffering. And then think, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to the power of reliance. And we we turn to the Buddha, the doctor, who has the methods that we can use to purify. And we're not necessarily asking for forgiveness. We're wanting to use these methods of Buddha Vajrasattva to heal ourselves. So we're going to use his methods to purify ourselves. So visualize Vajrasattva, this Buddha you can see on the screen, above the crown of your head. And you can also imagine that this is the mind of your teacher, your guru, your trusted mentor, or someone who inspires your mind in the Dhamma. He's manifesting in this particular form for your benefit. And he's made of radiant, blissful white light. And he's sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion. And he has this beautiful, radiant face. Symmetrical, youthful, yet ageless. And he has these long lotus-like eyes, and they're full of love and compassion for you and all sentient beings. He has this sweet red mouth, and his hair is black and held up in a top knot, And on his head is this 5-pointed crown, and it's embedded with precious jewels. And he's wearing ornaments and jewels in his ears and around his neck, his waist, his arms, wrists, and his ankles. And remember, this is all light, radiating light above the crown of your head. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom. The right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion. And their being crossed represents a union of these two, which symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings. And in this case, the beings we have harmed. So try to develop this wish for them to not suffer, to be free from suffering. And then those who have harmed us. And particularly, we develop compassion for them because the harm that they've caused us, they're going to experience suffering in the future. So you feel compassion towards them because of that. So make the strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for the sake of all these beings. I must purify for their sake. So the next is the power of the remedy, and this is the actual medicine that we're taking for a recitation of the mantra. So first we purify the body. Guru Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar. Be like coming out of a hose or a shower head, just pouring into you, filling your entire body, and it keeps pouring into you and eventually forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you've ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid, and this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left, as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dira Mebalwa Sutokaya Mebalwa Supokaya Mebalwa Anarakta Mebalwa Sawasidi Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Siddham Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dira Mebalwa Sutokaya Mebalwa Supokaya Mebalwa Anarakta Mebalwa Sawasidi Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dira Mebalwa Sutokaya Mebalwa Supokaya Mebalwa Anarakta Mebalwa Sawasidi Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dira Mebalwa Sutokaya Mebalwa Supokaya Mebalwa Anarakta Mebalwa Sawasidi Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dira Mebalwa Sutokaya Mebalwa Supokaya Mebalwa Anarakta Mebalwa Sawasidi Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dira Mebalwa Sutokaya Mebalwa Supokaya Mebalwa Anarakta Mebalwa Sawasidi Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dira Mebalwa Sutokaya Mebalwa Supokaya Mebalwa Anarakta Mebalwa Sawasidi Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva Ahum Pe. So be delighted that all the harm you have done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think there is no way you could do anything but benefit others now with your body. So next is a purification of speech. And again, Guru Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar, very compassionately sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and forcefully enters your crown and fills your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech, which overflows and disappears into space. So imagine that all the gossip and the harsh speech and useless speech and lying and talking badly about others behind their backs, all of this is purified by the powerful nectar filling you as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dira Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Supokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Siram Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva Ahom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dira Mebowa, Sutokaya Mebowa, Supokaya Mebowa, Anarakta Mebowa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me, Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva Ahom Pe. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dira Mebowa, Sutokaya Mebowa, Supokaya Mebowa, Anarakta Mebowa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me, Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva Ahom Pe. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dira Mebowa, Sutokaya Mebowa, Supokaya Mebowa, Anarakta Mebowa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me, Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva Ahom Pe. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dira Mebowa, Sutokaya Mebowa, Supokaya Mebowa, Anarakta Mebowa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me, Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva Ahom Pe. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dira Mebowa, Sutokaya Mebowa, Supokaya Mebowa, Anarakta Mebowa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me, Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva Ahom Pe. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dira Mebowa, Sutokaya Mebowa, Supokaya Mebowa, Anarakta Mebowa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me, Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva Ahom Pe. So again, now imagine that your speech is completely purified and it's not possible to do harm to anyone now with your speech. Only can benefit them. The moment they hear your voice, their mind is calmed, made peaceful, feels happy. So the next is a purification of the mind. And Guru Vajrasattva now very compassionately sends powerful beams of laser light from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being again. And just as we've been saying, the moment you walk into a room and switch on a light, that light instantly dispels the darkness, doesn't it? So the same here. The moment the light hits your heart chakra, the darkness of the negativity of your mind, all the attachment and neediness, the anger and the violence and the depression, resentment and jealousy and bitterness and grudges, all these really, really heavy emotions, all this is instantly dispelled by the light touching your heart. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mempi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mempi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mempi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mempi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mempi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mempi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mempi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. So again, be delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of all of our own suffering and the cause of why we harm others, are completely purified. Not one atom left. And think now, there's no room in your heart for anything other than love and wisdom and compassion and bliss and kindness. So just here, try and open your heart and expand your mind. So now there's a purification of imprints of negative energy of the body, speech and mind. So imagine Guru Vajrasattva again sends light and nectar. Except you can also imagine the previous 3 visualizations of the body, speech and mind. And you could do maybe just a couple of mantras for each one. That can be a little bit busy, so you can just do light and nectar. And imagine it's flowing into you from Vajrasattva's heart, pours into you through your crown, enters your body, touches your heart, and eradicates even the subtlest imprint of negative energy from your mind. As we recite the mantra, Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mempi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mempi Yatsa Sawakama Sutame Sudam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Kata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mempi Yatsa Sawakama Sutame Sudam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mempi Yatsa Sawakama Sutame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mempi Yatsa Sawakama Sutame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mempi Yatsa Sawakama Sutame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mempi Yatsa Sawakama Sutame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe. Now just really imagine you're completely purified. Not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to omniscience have been removed. So the next is a power of resolve. And this is a really, really, really crucial step. So even if you're doing this practice on your own and you're just doing the mantra, the important thing about this practice is to engage the mind, not just to kind of rattle off the mantra. And then very important at the end to make a decision about something that you're working on perhaps to try and refrain from that's harmful to yourself and to others. So you may have been working on something this month or this week. So check in with yourself. How have you been going? And pat yourself on the back for your efforts. No matter how tiny little progress you're making. Sometimes it's enough just to be aware of these habits that we have that are harmful. So once we draw our attention to them, then we can start dealing with them. Because if we don't even know they're there, we can't do anything about it. So at whatever level you're working at, just really, really rejoice in your efforts. Okay, so let's conclude. Guru Vajrasattva, imagine, delighted with you, wanting to merge with your mind, who melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown. And think, my Guru's body, speech and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech and mind, and my own body, speech and mind are the same thing. And LAMA YESHE used to call this union oneness. And next Rinpoche recommends to meditate on the emptiness of the three circles. In emptiness there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma, and there is no negative karma created. So place your mind in that emptiness for a little while. At whatever level you understand it, we can think of all phenomena as being empty and not existing from their own side. We can also just imagine, remember the way we're perceiving the world, the way it appears to us, may not necessarily be the way it actually exists. It's good to question that every now and then. Okay, so let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy we've created this evening, doing this purification, to all living beings, and thinking particularly at this time of Rowena. And think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. And our long life prayers for His Holiness, the wish-granting, wish-fulfilling jewel, source of every single benefit and happiness in this world, to the incomparably kind Tenzin Gyatso I beseech, may all your holy wishes be spontaneously fulfilled. And for Lama Zopa Rinpoche, you who uphold the subduer's moral way, who serve as the bountiful bearer of all, sustaining, preserving, and spreading Manjana's victorious doctrine, who masterfully accomplishes magnificent prayers honouring the three jewels, saviour of myself and others, your disciples, please, please live long. And for Lama Ursel, Venerable One, to you whose kindness exceeds that of all the conquerors, for those wanderers in far-off places, especially the West, mindful of your loving concern for us in intentionally descending again into a family of a far distant land, we make this request. O Lama, please, please live long. And for Geshe Sherab, beloved teacher, leading your students toward wisdom and compassion, explaining through exacting discernment the steps of the graduated path, you are the unequaled guide. Please live a long and stable life. Thank you, everyone.